guys, Lisa here. So today's video is a little bit different. It's not a makeup tutorial, but instead I wanted to talk about the skinny on lash extensions. So in my first video I kind of mentioned that I have lash extensions, and I had a lot of people message me and ask me questions about them, recommendations for a good lash stylist, what they should look for in a lash stylist, all types of things. And it made me think, actually I've had them for about 4 years, and I've gotten over those 4 years, anytime anyone finds out that I have them, they always have a question or two to ask about them. So I thought kind of a good video with questions and answers on lash extensions would be really helpful. So first I want to say that, like I said, I've had lash extensions for about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. I remember when I first got them, a friend of mine was getting certified to do them as a lash stylist, and so she needed a model. So I thought, okay, cool, free lash extensions, sure. I thought, I told my husband, I'm just going to get them. They're free. I'm not going to keep up with them, but why not get them? And I've had them ever since. I did take them off once, maybe for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I put them right back on. So I've pretty much had them for 4 years straight. I love them. I can't imagine myself taking them off. But to kind of tell you a little bit more about them. So I actually got certified about 2 years ago to do them myself. I'm a makeup artist, and I thought, well, this will be a great service to add to my, service menu. And I knew they were becoming really popular. I thought it'd be easy, so I went and got trained, and I was so wrong. I tried for about 3 or 4 months, and honestly, I know that I could have gotten better if I just would have kept practicing. But I got really frustrated with the process. It's not easy. So if you have a good lash stylist, appreciate them, value them. They are worth what you're paying them, trust me. Unfortunately, I will say that I know, at least in the state of Texas a couple of years ago, they, and you might, I would definitely verify this, but I know a couple of years ago when I got certified, Texas was doing a new thing where they were going to grandfather anyone in as a lash stylist. So I think now you have to go to beauty school. You have to have at least your esthetician's license or a certain amount of beauty school hours to be a licensed lash stylist, which is great. When I got certified, they were doing this thing up until like April 1st, where anyone that was trained for lashes, if they could prove that they were trained for lashes, they didn't have to get that credit or go to beauty school. So I rushed to get trained that way, and I'm sure a lot of other people did. And I'll be the first to say it. I had no business doing lashes on people. You need someone good. That's all I'm going to say about that. So just be careful when you find a lash stylist. Find someone that has a great review on Yelp, or that comes referred or recommended by a friend. And once I talk more about the process, I think you'll understand why. So first of all, what are lash extensions? So lash extensions are, they're actually individual extensions that are glued to your natural lash. They're nothing like strip adhesive lashes that you buy at Walgreens or the grocery store. Those are meant for just daily use, and it's a full strip. You put them on, you actually adhere them to your skin, they pull off. These lash extensions are adhere to your natural lash. So what a lash stylist will do is they will take a lash extension and isolate an individual natural lash of your own. Okay, so they work with, basically you go in for your appointment, you lay down flat on your back, or you sit up with your head back. Your eyes are closed through the entire process. For a full set, it takes about 2 to 3 hours, I think. And then for fills, which are, you need to do to maintain them, that takes about an hour. So your initial set, is going to be pretty long appointment, and then your maintenance appointments, which I go every 2 weeks for fills. They say 2 to 4 weeks is kind of the norm. I like to keep them full all the time. I think by the end of 4 weeks I would feel like I had no lashes left. But of course it depends on how well you maintain them and how your natural cycle of hair growth is. But basically you go in for your appointment. I lay flat on my back. She puts little eye patches underneath my lower lash line, and I close my eyes. She then works with tweezers, and I'll have a video that I'm going to cut to shortly here that'll kind of show you a little more of the process. But she has tweezers in each hand, and with one hand she will isolate one of my individual natural lashes, okay? And then with the other hand she'll take the lash extension, dip the little tip in a little tiny bit of glue, and adhere that one extension to my one natural eyelash. So imagine doing that. I mean, that's a very tedious process. It's difficult. You know, like I said, coming off my experience, you know, most of us are right or left-handed, right? I'm right-handed. So for me to work with tweezers with my left hand and try and isolate something as small as a natural eyelash was very difficult and challenging. So you want to go to someone that's very experienced, because what will happen if they're not, and they're not, you know, they're just not up to par, is it's very easy for someone to glue your lashes together. You know, instead of grabbing one eyelash, they get stuck to 2 or 3 eyelashes. And that's when anytime someone complains about lash extensions, my first guess is probably they weren't applied correctly. So that's a little bit of the process. I did have some questions I'm just going to answer, and then I'll kind of go over some other things that come to mind. One of the questions, okay, so we talked about the process and the appointment time. The cost, okay, that's a great question. So I'm sure this depends on your market. I'm in Austin, and I think a good lash stylist will charge anywhere from $200 to $275 for a full set of eyelashes for your first initial appointment. And then for fills, I think I've gone to a few people, and it ranges anywhere from $55 to $65 for your fill, and that appointment is every 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Of course, there are a lot of people that charge a lot less, and there are a lot of people that charge a lot more. So I'm going to tell you about the people that charge a lot less. And of course, this is a very general statement. I can't say that everyone that charges less is not good, because that would not be wise of me. But you know, don't just look for the cheapest person. Don't just look on Groupon for someone that's doing a full set of lashes for $79 or something like that. Kind of what that says to me is this person doesn't have a established clientele, because if they can take on that that volume of people at that price, you know, they don't have a full list of clients coming to them. So that's kind of my thought. And then people that charge a lot more, at least in my area, some places I see charge like per lashes. Like they'll say, okay, you know, this full set comes with 80 lashes and it's X amount of dollars. This full set is the super glam look and it comes with 120 lashes and it's this amount, and it's a lot more. And they'll charge their fills that way too. They'll say, okay, for your fills, you know, you get 25 lashes per eye for this amount, and you get 50 lashes per eye for this amount. I don't really know if I trust that. You know, having the short experience that I did applying lashes, and then I have several friends that are lash stylists, and I've talked to them about this too. I think that it's really impossible to count how many lashes you're putting on someone. I really don't see how that's possible, especially because a lot of times you're conversating with this person. This is like getting your nails done or getting your hair done. You're talking to them. How are they counting exactly how many lashes they're putting on you to charge you that? I kind of feel like it's just a way to like kind of market themselves and upcharge, honestly. And I've had that verified by a couple people I know that do lashes. So I would really look for someone that has flat rates. And it is pretty standard for someone to say, okay, if you come every 2 weeks, your fills are $55. If you come every 3 weeks, they are $70. If you come every 4 weeks, they're $90. That's pretty normal. And I think that's fair, because the reason why they do that is if I go every 2 weeks, my appointments might be 45 minutes long. If I book a 4-week appointment, she might set aside an hour and a half for me, or an hour and 20 minutes for me, or she'll set aside more time. So you really should find someone that's charging a flat rate for your appointment time. I think that that's a pretty fair way to charge for lashes. And if you're going to someone good, they should be able to get, you know, a full amount of lashes on you within that time period. So again, it depends on the, you know, the quality of the person that you're going to and their experience on how many lashes they can do in a certain amount of time. So that's my thought. So maintenance. So we talked a little bit about maintenance every 2 to 4 weeks. The reason that is because, so, you know, people will ask, well, how long do the lashes last? It's kind of a tricky question, because the glue actually, I've heard it adheres to the natural lash anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So when they apply the lash extension, that glue is going to stay on your natural lash from 4 to 6 weeks. Of course, depending on a lot of variables, how well you take care of them, all that good stuff. However, your natural lashes are your hair is on a growth cycle. You know, we're growing and shedding hair all the time on our head and on our lashes. So in order to keep your lashes looking full, that's why they recommend going every 2 to, I really think it should be 3, but 2 to 4 weeks, because what's happening is your natural lashes are growing out, and when they grow out and fall out, the lash extension is coming with it. So it's not necessarily that the lash extension is falling off, it's more that your natural lash is growing out end coming off, which is taking the extension with it, and then you're having a new natural lash grow through, and that's what you go to get filled. So that's kind of a little bit about the maintenance and why you go, kind of so often. So sensitive eyes. This is a great question. So I think there are different types of sensitive eyes. So some people are sensitive to products, like I know some people are sensitive to red dyes and eyeshadows, or certain pigments in certain makeup products. That's one type of sensitive. And then some people are sensitive to people touching their eyes. So we'll talk about both. So people that are sensitive to kind of products or dyes or fumes or fragrances, you do need to let your lash stylist know that, because the glue is pretty strong. The glue has fumes. You don't smell it. Like when I say fumes, I didn't even know that until I got trained to do lash extensions, and I learned about that. And keep in mind, I had been getting them done at that point for 2 years, and I never smelled glue or had irritations from the glue or anything. But once I started getting trained, I learned that these glues have fumes. So people that are very sensitive, we might be sensitive to that. So that's why they have you close your eyes during the process. So you want to let them know that so that they can use an appropriate glue. You also, I would probably recommend not drinking a bunch of caffeine before, because you don't realize this until you have your eyes closed and you're trying to relax them. You want them to be as relaxed as possible. You don't want them to be fluttering a lot. They'll flutter if you have caffeine. They'll flutter if you talk a lot. Like I'll talk to my lash stylist sometimes, and sometimes we talk about things that get me really heated or excited. And I'm like, oh my God, I can feel my lashes fluttering and I can't control it. So you want your lashes, you want your eyes to be as relaxed as possible. So I would, just kind of be aware of that. If you do have sensitivities to it, I actually went to the ophthalmologist one time. I had a weird reaction. I think it was when I was pregnant with my first daughter, which can affect everything. So, and I got some eye drops for that, but they were prescribed, and that totally helped. But so if you're sensitive to people touching your eyes, it is kind of a different process. In fact, when I brought the video home of someone getting lash extensions and I was showing my husband, he was like, "You do that? Oh my God, I can't believe you do this." And it's funny. It doesn't hurt at all. It's very comfortable. Sometimes I even fall asleep. Your eyes are closed, and like I said, someone that's good won't be uncomfortable for you. The process will not be uncomfortable. But basically your eyes are closed. Their hands are like resting on your forehead, and they have 2 tweezers. They do put these eye pads underneath your eyes, so the tweezers rest on the eye pad, so you don't feel the poke of the tweezers. It's not painful at all. I mean, really, and I think because your eyes are closed, even if you are sensitive to people doing your makeup or people putting eyeliner on you, your eyes aren't open, so you shouldn't really feel that. I don't know though. That's my thought. So can I wear normal makeup? That's a great question. Yes, you can. I do. I remember when I first got them done, I was like, okay, how do I care for these? And, they're like, okay, don't get in a hot shower for 24 hours. Don't, wear liquid eyeliner. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. And maybe the first time I had them applied, I was really careful. But honestly, I would not have them for 4 years if I had to be that careful. Nobody has time for that. So the only thing I avoid is oily makeup removers. Okay, so makeup removers that have the oil and you can see the separation. Those aren't good. That will just basically kind of break down the glue. So you'll be putting that to remove your makeup and your lashes will be coming out. So look for oil-free makeup remover. I don't wear mascara on them. I know some people do, and you can, I guess. But my thought is the less you mess with them, the better they're going to last. If you do wear mascara, you just want to make sure that you are using oil-free mascara, I think, and then you also want to make sure that you're using the appropriate makeup remover to get it off. And I have some products that I use that I'll show you in a second that I use to remove my eye makeup. That's another thing that I do differently. So before I had lash extensions, I would just wash my face and I would just wash all over my eyes and all over my lashes. I don't do that. I do wash my face normally. I avoid, scrubbing my eyes or putting makeup remover on my eyes. Face wash on my eyes. So I'll wash my face and then I'll take this guy, which is Extreme Lashes Eye Makeup Remover, and I get it from my lash stylist. You can probably get it online too if they don't sell it. I use this with a lint-free kind of makeup remover thing here, and I buy these from her too. And I use this to clean all my eye makeup off. Okay. You could use Q-tips too. The only thing with Q-tips is they have lint in them, so you want to be careful not to get those on your lashes. It's not that it would ruin them; it would just be kind of you've got that lint stuck on your lashes. You have to get it out. But yeah, I wear normal makeup. I mean, I wear eyeliner, I wear everything I want. I don't really, I do, if I get them done, I do try and avoid like a really hot shower or being in a really hot shower for that day. But honestly, I got them done yesterday, and I got them done at like 2, and I took a hot shower at like 9 o'clock at night. It's fine. It's really fine. Um, you'll know kind of after you get them. Of course, they're going to tell you everything to do to take the best care of them, but don't feel like they're that big of a pain to maintain, because they're really not. Do they damage your lashes? So this is a good question. I get this a lot. I'll tell you my experience. So I did take them off for a couple of weeks years ago, and I'll be honest, I did think that my lashes were kind of shorter than before. I had them off for maybe 4 or 5 weeks, and I noticed over that time they started growing back totally normal. I kind of thought it was, to me, I thought it was like, well, maybe it's like getting fake nails. When you get acrylic nails put on and then you take them off, your natural nails are kind of weak and brittle, and then, you keep them off for a while, your natural nails go back to normal. That's what I thought. I've talked to several lash stylists, friends of mine, they're lash stylists, and they've all told me their answers have all been very consistent. So I'm going to tell you what I've heard from them. So it should not damage your lashes. If you're going to a good person that's applying them correctly, they're not applying them to several lashes at one time, they're keeping them, they're using the right weight of lashes. If they're doing everything properly, they should not damage your lashes. One thing one of my friends told me, which would make total sense, is if someone has really natural, weak, their natural lashes are very weak and thin and short, they shouldn't have a really heavy extension applied to it. They should have a lighter weight extension applied to it, because if it's really heavy, it'll damage it. So that's one thing to think about. They also tell me, and this is a very consistent answer I've gotten, so I do believe that this is true, is, you get so used to them that when you take them off, you kind of forget what your natural lashes, how short they were. They're quite a significant difference in length, so I believe that. So they should not damage your lashes. If you remove them and you feel like they are really short, I would recommend using Revita Lash. It's a product, you don't need a prescription for it. It's kind of like Latisse. It's a lash growth product. You can get it on Amazon, and it will help your lashes grow back thick and full and long quickly. And I'm not sure, you might want to check the side effects. I know Latisse has the change of color side effects. I'm not sure that Revita Lash has that, but it's not prescription strength, so that might be good. Okay, so natural versus synthetic lashes. I've always had synthetic lashes. I take that back. I did go to one place one time, and I think they specialize in natural, and I didn't like them. That was my thought. I like kind of a more glamorous look, and I felt like these just looked very, I don't know, they just weren't enough for me. Synthetic can still look natural, though. They have different lengths and thickness of synthetic lashes, so just because you get synthetic doesn't mean you have to get some super dramatic, glamorous eyelash. You can get a very, lightweight lash, a shorter length. I like to mix lengths, so the lengths that I think I get are 12 and 13s. Rather than having all 13s, I kind of mix 12 and 13s, so they just look more like a natural lash would look. Okay, and then products to care for. Yeah, so there are, certain lash extension makeup products that you can get. I don't get any of that. The only thing that I buy that I use is this Extreme Lash Makeup Remover. I do use this. And then I use these little lint-free, they're almost like Qtips, but they don't have lint on them. So that's how I remove my eye makeup. Aside from those, I use any eyeliner that I pick up at Sephora, MAC. I don't use special lash extension approved makeup. So what else am I missing? Am I missing anything else? I think that might be it. If I think of other things after I stop filming this, I will just add it into the video, just add it to caption or a text or something. But yeah, I love lash extensions. I'm hooked. I don't ever imagine taking them off. One thing I will say is, this is just my opinion. Other people might have a different opinion, but I do bridal makeup, and I'll have some brides that will want to get them just for the wedding day, and that they want to have them for the wedding day and the honeymoon and all that. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like if you're going to get them, you should kind of just be willing to commit to keeping them up. Because if you go to someone and they don't apply them correctly and then you have them removed and then your natural lashes, you feel like your natural lashes are shorter or whatever, was it really worth having them for those 2 weeks? I mean, maybe just use a strip lash from Walgreens or from wherever. I think, I think they're definitely something that you get with the intent to keep up with. That's just my thought. Plus, they're not cheap. Going in for a full set for $250, or for just 2 weeks, it's like, or just for one event, I would just get a strip lash from Walgreens or something. Just my thought, just my opinion. I think that is it, though. If you are in Austin, I do have a few people that I recommend. So I will put that in the video because I want to make sure I get their business names and their business info correct on here. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. But thank you guys so much for watching.